Welcome back, everybody, to CPR, your lifeline here. We're bringing you some good news today on the podcast. Wait until you hear what we're bringing you today. This is going to be a good one. I am Jeff Winsett. Welcome again. And I'm going to introduce you to my co-host, JR.
That's right, Jeff. And what a show indeed. Because today on part 2 of Seeing is Believing and Knowing is Half the Battle, we'll ask you many times, are you having an aha moment? Because searching and finding led me to mine. And I kept asking questions that led me to so much overwhelming knowledge that my puzzling skills were actually put to the test. Trying to put this video together and continually finding more and more information, it's like an obsession. And Jeff comes to me and he tells me, he says, how far down the rabbit hole do you want to go? And I said, well, how far is it? Well, then he introduces me to a man named Aha, and the hole got deep. The floodgates opened and information came my way. And I'm telling you guys, I'm just totally overwhelmed by this information. So I'm going to ask you to stay tuned and hold on. It's going to get crazy. Well, let me introduce you to Aha. He's an American state national who has completed all the steps necessary to stand in his freedom and work under the Constitution of the continental United States. And that's important. AHA means, if you don't mind.
It's my initials. It stands for Arnold Hector Alba. That's my name, my
Now,
God-given name.
But what is an American state national?
We, as American state nationals, we keep the peace and uphold the American common law,
Okay,
the American public law, which includes the common law.
what's up with the flag that's behind you?
That's the American Civil Peacetime flag. This is our flag.
Mm-hmm.
Old Glory, that's our flag too.
Right.
That flag we fly, Old Glory, that's our wartime flag.
Right.
But we're not at war. We're at peace.
We're at peace.
So we're going to go ahead and fly this peace flag. We've declared peace on the land. You're going to learn how to present yourself
Right.
and not allow a false misrepresentation of yourself, not how to not consent to a misrepresentation or false representation of you and who you are.
Tell us what led you to become an American state national.
Yeah, I did, way back in the year 2000, 2003. I had a big corporation, big business. I had just built it actually, and I built a corporation of my own. It was, $6 million a year corporation, 135 employees. So I was doing pretty good, and I thought I was, on top of the world and everything, but it wasn't long. It didn't take long before the things started to, I started to realize a few things. Something's wrong, because the IRS and
Yeah.
all the federal agencies and all of the grabbers, the people just all of a sudden start wanting a piece of the pie. And so it became a battle as to how to keep my money. Okay, how do I hang on to my money? And give it to my kids and my family and save for retirement. And I started to ask a bunch of questions. And in the process, I never went to university, college. I got a degree in HVAC technology, but then I became a stucco contractor. So go figure. To this day, I'm a stucco contractor
Around the world. But it's okay. It's all about what you know. It's not about what you have capabilities of doing.
Right. And as a stucco contractor, I learned a lot of things. First of all, I learned that it was a lie when they told me that incorporating your business was a good idea. So I did that, and I incorporated my business, and it got real big, and it was real fancy. It was, it was great. I was living the life. My kids were happy. We were always on vacation. It was awesome. Raising kids, married, the whole 9 yards. Beautiful life. Still is a beautiful life. Don't get me wrong. But things changed. Things changed when I started to pray about for the truth. I started to pray to God. Hey, God, what's the truth here? Who am I? What's going on? What am I doing? What's my purpose? How do I do this? You know, how do I go about this? How do I maneuver this Titanic of a ship? You know, because that's what it was I was handling. And
Yeah, I can imagine.
and my answers to my prayers were to study. I had been trying to study the Bible, but it was real confusing. But I was led and inspired in my prayers to study about sovereignty and common law and all forms of law and jurisdictions. And, you know, one thing in the Bible that I learned right out of the gate was there are 3 jurisdictions: air, land, and sea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the number one clue. All right, so in those 3 jurisdictions, where do I stand? Okay, am I in the sea? No, I'm not in the sea. Am I in the air? Well,
You're not a bird.
my brain is sometimes.
Exactly.
But actually, I'm on the land.
You're on the
Right,
land.
I'm on the land. And I did, you know, the more I studied, and I studied a lot of guys back then, like Lysander Spooner, and I got into a lot of other, I could go on, I have a whole list of people who I studied with. But throughout the years, I learned about my sovereignty, and my prayers were answered, and God showed me that I am sovereign. And the next question was, well, how do I be sovereign? How do I act, walk, and talk?
Mm-hmm.
How do I do it? What does it mean?
Mm-hmm.
How does it look? And that was a whole nother world right there. So those prayers had to come, and
Right.
more study, and more study. And I had learned about a lot about the fraud in the Federal Reserve, and the fraud in the government, and the fraud with corporations. And I learned about the Duns and Bradstreet, and I learned that all corporations are registered on the Duns and Bradstreet. And the fraud starts when you incorporate something. You know, in a nutshell. So corporations are dead entities. They are a creation of man. And anytime you incorporate anything, basically you lose ownership. You're giving it away. Anytime you register anything, you lose ownership.
Now this is
Giving it away.
a very key point that he just said. Yeah. If you register, now I want you to think about this, ladies and gentlemen. How many things do you actually register, and what is that saying? So my understanding of registration is that you are telling somebody, registering your item, whatever it is. Let's say like a baby. You're registering your baby as being the informant of the birth certificate. You're informing that the product is there, whatever it is. And this is registering yourself. Am I getting this correct? Did I say that right? Like registering your car, same way.
When you register something, you're basically giving away ownership. So the key word is regis.
So let me get this
That's
correct.
the king.
So if I register my car with the state of Colorado, then my car, my personal vehicle, becomes Colorado's property?
The state of Colorado is a corporation,
Right.
as opposed to Colorado State, which is not.
Which is not, okay.
It's a state of the union.
Okay.
So yes, when you register your property with the state of Colorado Corporation, you're basically giving away all your rights to ownership.
Say what?
Okay, well, I just used register a car as the same thing as register a baby.
So when you register your baby, same thing.
You're giving your child away to the state of Colorado.
Right.
State
And that all started when your baby with a birth certificate, right?
Right. The fraud started with incorporating people, babies. Securitization of flesh. It's fraud. It's against the law. It's illegal. It's
Unconscionable contract.
Okay,
unconscionable contract.
I'm gonna just say what he just said again because I just had chills run up and down my spine. My baby is born. I fill out paperwork that is mandatory to fill out by the hospital,
The doctor.
the doctor. Then I sign where it says informant, or the mother does, which we have informed them of all, who the mother, the father, where they live, blah, 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 all the information that is necessary for the child. Yet without us knowing, we are actually giving the power of attorney. Would that be correct in using those words, the power of attorney, or is it more ownership of the child? Because you said you literally relinquish ownership. So what you're saying is by getting a birth certificate, and this is all true, ladies and gentlemen, we can prove this. By getting a birth certificate, you literally relinquish your child to the state that you live in.
The child becomes a ward of the state.
And then you become a keeper of the state or the product, which is your child, your son or your daughter. So that because you're a keeper of the car. When you register your car, basically, you're a keeper of the car because the state owns it, but you're driving. You're leasing it from them. And that's how they have this jurisdiction over you driving. I know what we're saying is all a lot of information, but we're going to break it down. This is so much to take in. Explain to everybody what AHA means, if you don't mind.
It's my initials. It stands for Arnold Hector Alba. That's my name, my
Now,
God-given name.
Okay, that's your God-given name. Now, in the understanding of your name, is it a capitalized name? Is it a capital and small letter name? Is it your name? Or is it your corporation's name? Or is it both?
So in the matter of the name, those are all good questions. Is the name a corporation?
Mm.
Good question. Is the name a person?
Mm.
Is the name a legal person or a lawful person?
Mm.
Is the name a name of a living man or a dead fiction?
Mm.
Okay, so if it's if you're referring to a corporation, going by the name of Arnold Hector Alba, whether it be in all caps or upper lower, but the way to identify a corporation is that if it is spelled in all caps, it is a corporation.
Mm-hmm.
So in my name, when it is spelled in all caps, is not the correct spelling. The correct spelling of my name would be upper lower case, and my name is God given,
Right.
and it is unincorporated.
Right.
So, but then what happens when I was born? On the day I was born, I got my name, and I got a record
Right.
of live birth.
Right.
2 weeks later, there was a registration process that took place. I was only 2 weeks old, so how could I agree to a registration process to become a legal person? And what is a legal person? So, you know,
That's why I asked. There's
right, legal versus lawful. So a legal person is dead. It's a fiction. It's a creation. It's on paper. It's not alive. Does not have blood
right.
flowing through its veins because it doesn't have veins. A lawful person is alive.
Right. So basically, a legal person would be like a straw man.
A legal person is a creation.
Right.
On paper, it's a fiction. And a lawful person would be maybe the creator of the legal person, possibly.
Yeah.
You see?
Oh, okay.
So the registration process was the creation of a legal person, but I didn't do that.
No.
It was done unbeknownst to me. I was.
But this legal person is a straw man, which is a, and if you look up the word straw man, it's an understanding of something that is hiding the actual entity that is running it, such as
it is a representation of.
There you go. Thank you. That was perfectly said.
But you did not authorize it.
And this is where it comes down to the understanding of consent. And I know that every mother out there listening right now, hearing the words we just spoke, that when you sign the birth certificate, you're giving your child away to the state that you had it signed in. It's no longer your property. And in hearing these words, I cannot see any mother out there agreeing, consenting to this kind of construct, this kind of law, this kind of
contract.
Exactly, contract.
Legal contract.
Legal. Listen to the words legal and lawful. Look them up for yourself. Find your own definition of those so that you can understand. Every bit of this is about etymology. It's about the use of words and how the corporations have manufactured ways such as automobile and motor vehicle. Automobile is personal. Motor vehicle is a commerce. It's a vehicle doing commerce on the highways. But when the cop pulls you over, he uses the word automobile, and he asks you about
vehicle.
Passenger.
Right, he'll use the word vehicle.
Vehicle, right? Your motor vehicle.
He's assuming that you're driving
as a corporate
vehicle,
right?
But and if you're a driver,
right.
And you are, like if you're a taxi cab driver or bus driver, semi-truck driver, if you're transporting alcohol, firearms, tobacco, and you're a transactor in commerce, well, then you are a driver.
Right.
And you need to have a driver's license, and you have to have insurance.
But see, they get you in so many other ways, too. Just like this. I read this the other day. This is crazy, and I'll show this on screen.
But hold on. What if you're not a driver? Let's just take this one home real quick.
Right.
What if you're just traveling? What if you're not a transactor in commerce?
Right.
What if you're not a legal person? What if you're just a simple living man or woman and with their kids in the back, just traveling from point A to point B? Maybe you're going to the grocery store to get food or going to go visit grandma, and let's say you get pulled over for 5 over or something. Well, of course, the cop is going to assume that you're a transactor in commerce, and they assume that you're driving a vehicle and that you're responsible for 80 million rules, codes, and regulations of the federal government. And he's going to assume that you're an employee of the federal government or a dependent, one or the other.
There you go.
You're just going to be presumed upon right out of the gate.
Presumed.
And you're presumed upon since the day you were registered.
Right.
Okay, so as an American state national, you're going to learn how to present yourself,
right,
and not allow a false misrepresentation of yourself, not how to not consent to a misrepresentation or false representation of you and who you are.
right.
You have to learn how to present yourself in a case like that. And it takes time and a lot of self-education. And you have to study and read. To become an American state national is a huge responsibility. It's big. It's probably the biggest ever. But I'm going to say this, too. To become a U.S. citizen is also equally a great responsibility.
Well, my mother became a U.S. citizen. She was from Germany, and she came over.
Right.
She went to Missouri. She was in St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah.
And she actually spent the 7 years and the time to educate herself. She read all the things. She knows the Constitution, or knew the Constitution. She's dead now.
So
but
she's a good U.S. citizen.
She's a good, naturalized, good U.S. citizen. Of course, she had to do that because my dad was military.
Yeah.
And being in the military and hearing all this, I swear an oath to the Constitution brings us up to another idea of how they got us. Is lo and behold today, just standing here with him just a minute ago before we got on this podcast, he shows me that there are 3 constitutions. Okay, there is an American Constitution, there is a territorial constitution, and there is a municipal constitution. And the municipal constitution is the ones that the congressmen and the politicians swear an oath to. Because the only way they can truly do what they do and get away with it is because they're signing their oath over to a municipality, not over to the American people. The Constitution for and of the people, by the people, we, the people. I heard a video the other day. It said that the guy stops him and he says, "We, the people, created the police department. You are under us. You are not above us. You are not our bosses. We are not your slaves. But according to what you're saying is we've registered ourselves. We have given consent without the complete and total knowledge of the truth. I mean, come on, knowing that you register your car and give it away automatically.
We didn't register ourselves, but we, unconscionably became registered
Right.
U.S. citizens. So there's been a mistake. Let's just call it that. It was a mistake, and our parents, they made a mistake, and it wasn't their fault because they were lied to, mostly by omission. They weren't given full disclosure. They weren't given information as to what exactly they were doing.
Exactly.
And that's not mom and dad's fault. And
Right.
God
That's
bless
uninformed
them.
consent.
Right.
Or as you said it
bless our
earlier,
parents.
unconscionable.
Unconscionable. Unconscionable. Yeah.
And then, the doctor, for the most part, doesn't know either. And he doesn't, most of the doctors have no idea that they are military officers. They are military officers, and they don't even realize that.
Well, every doctor and lawyer or anybody who's gone through any kind
Lawyers don't realize that they are the king's militia.
Exactly.
They are militiamen for the British Crown,
Right.
and they are tax collectors for the British Crown.
Listen to this,
So
ladies
that's
and
what
gentlemen.
that's what a bar, British Accreditation Registry lawyer is.
Is that right there in your face?
And I we can't blame our brothers and sisters who are lawyers. It's not their fault.
Oh,
either.
no.
They really thought that they were going to go to school, get a real good education, and have a real successful life and prosperous, and all that. And
But they all turned out to be a foreign agent working on
they are.
the soil.
They are absolutely foreign agents, undeclared foreign agents for the most part. 99% of the bar agents and all of the foreign agents out there are undeclared foreign agents.
And they are unknowledgeable to that fact as well, because they as well are uninformed.
Right.
Most of them, I can't say all of them, because there are some out there that know the truth. They know what they're doing. There are American nationals that are using this information against the people, because the knowledge is what's the weapon. Our truth, our knowing, is what gets us ahead. We can have all the skills in the world, but it's only going to limit us to that skill. But if we have knowledge, that limits us to the truth, or that gives us the unlimited knowledge of going searching for the truth. And that's what we're doing here. I'm not looking to become anybody's teacher. I'm looking to become one hell of a student, because it looks to me, according to what you said a minute ago, if I paid attention and did this every day, all day, I could use a year up of time and still not be caught up to where you are right now. Which sets me into the understanding, okay, today is the day to start this, and I need to be in every kind of facet of absorbing as much as I can.
Right.
So
Start now.
Right, because and get as much education. Ask as many people. Call lawyers if we can. Talk to people who are. There's so much information that will overwhelm you and set you back to where if you're not careful, you'll be Alice in Wonderland and finding all kinds of stuff that doesn't really matter to you.
So our lawyers, are actually in a bad position, but it could be good for them, because they can all come home to the land and soil jurisdiction of their nativity, just like us.
And then work for the American constitutional law.
They can and they will serve our American Article 3 courts, and they can become counselors of law versus bar attorneys.
See?
And they can use their skills and all of their knowledge and their abilities, and they can make a really good living as a counselor of law, keeping the peace and upholding the American public law and supporting American common law courts, Article 3 courts. That's where the lawyers are going, the good ones. Like you said, the ones who are innocent and who really have good intentions.
Right.
It's all about intentions. But the ones who have bad intentions, who know what the crime is, and they know that they are aiding and abetting, yet they are not willing to change and come clean. Those ones, I really kind of feel sorry for those guys. I got to be honest with you, because they have another thing coming. They will not get away with it. They will not get away with it in this country.
When America wakes up to this truth and they get a grip, I can look at every soldier's mentality because I'm a military man myself. And I am boiling inside. I'm holding it back very well, but I'm literally looking at, I swore an oath, and this is the oath I swore. I, James Edwards, stand before you freely and easily, giving my vow that I will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. So help me God. Now, I don't take that oath lightly because I gave it to my God. I presented it before the universe to state, okay, the Constitution will be upheld because I will stand up under it, holding it up as it is viable for everybody to do. If we don't hold our constitutional rights, the American constitutional rights, if we don't hold that as the one true thing that all Americans have, all peoples have. It says all people are created equal. It doesn't say just all Americans. It says all man is created equal. It doesn't say all corporations. It doesn't say all entities. It uses a specific word of man. I am a man. I'm not a corporation. I am a man. I'm walking under, because I gave an oath, I'm walking under the Constitution. Everybody else that is on the Constitution or in the Constitution is what I'm lifting up. So you as a person, yourself as a person, or excuse me, as a man, person is maritime law again. You as a man, I am recognizing you and giving you your sovereign right to be on this planet as I am. Oh. I'm upholding my rules and regulations of giving you this sovereignty because I expect the same in return. This is love your brother as you love yourself. Right. So understanding how all of this works and how all of this has come together, would you be willing to come back and have more conversations about this so that we can show more about what's going on this? Yeah. Because I want to lead everybody to a website. The website is, it's really difficult to find them. Yahoo and Google have literally hid these people, this understanding, this truth, amongst a whole bunch of other people that are trying to go the opposite direction with the truth. So the actual way you find it, you will not find it on Yahoo. Yahoo search will not let you find American States National.net, or excuse me, the American States Assembly.net.
There you go.
Let me say that again. The American States Assembly.net. That will lead you to a page that says states.americanstatenationals.org. Check out these websites. Definitely find this page and spend a whole day reading. Let me give you some of the topics here. Books, decrees, constitutions. And by the way, a constitution is a contract of debt. Reconstruction, veterans, enforcement, handbooks. Wait, here we go. Dead baby scam. One-pager, blood money. You go to that website and it's all red. Everything on the page, everything in that part of this, when you scan down, everything on that says it's red, blood money. Then you got Aldridge Plan. Then you got, Dunn's Court, and then medical tyranny. So just to show you all of these and more, what's on this site, please come to this site and spend your time on this. So, what can the people do? I had a question earlier. Jeff and I were talking about this before the podcast coming here. He asked me, he says, okay, so how do I get my birth certificate, and how do I make it to where it's my birth certificate and I can end the creation of the corporation? How do I do all that?
It's actually very easy. You will, you can go online and order, or even go down to the vital statistics and get a certified copy. Get 3 or 4 certified copies of your birth certificate. Once you have certified copies in your hand, you're going to you'll send one of those certified copies in to the state recorder of the American States Assembly, the state recorder of your state, in our case, Colorado State Recorder. Mm-hmm. You can provide her a copy of your certified birth certificate, and when you go on to the AmericanStatesAssembly.net, there's a series of documents that you can fill out and for recording, for notarizing and recording.
Right.
So once you fill those documents out, those are the documents that will bring you back home to the land and soil jurisdiction. Mm-hmm. You get those notarized. You get them recorded with your state recorder. Mm-hmm. We have one in all 50 states. All 50 states are in session, and we are recording.
Right.
And we are standing up our common law courts in all 50 states right now. We're in the process of doing that.
Right.
And so once you get all that information into your state recorder, you can get notarized and recorded and placed on the record and be recognized as an American.
As an American, not as an American citizen, which is under the jurisdiction.
No, hold on. Not as a U.S. citizen or a citizen of the U.S. But if you want to become an American state citizen, well, that's a whole nother story. Because when you become a citizen, like I said, to become a citizen of any sort, whether it's a U.S. citizen or an American state citizen, it's a huge responsibility. So you are right now presumed upon to be a U.S. citizen or a citizen of the U.S., which is a corporate state.
Right.
But you want to be, if you want to be a citizen of anything, you're going to want to be an American state citizen. But in order to become an American state citizen, you first have to claim your natural birthright status as an American state national.
Oh, okay.
You need to be a national first.
So it's kind of like a step up.
Going back to home base. When you were born a national, not a citizen. Sorry.
Okay.
Not a citizen of anything.
Right.
So you need to go back home,
mm-hmm.
back to the land, get back to your status as an American state national.
Right.
Then let's just say if you just want to be a free man or woman on the land and enjoy your life and all your freedoms with your constitutional guarantees and protections intact, stay a national. Mm-hmm. But if you're concerned about, if you have kids or grandkids, if you're concerned about your country and your family and your friends, and you want to help, you want to do something, you want to actually join your American government and become an American state citizen in service to your actual American government.
Oh.
So to be a citizen is to be in service to a king or a government.
Oh, I got you.
So
if you want to
be a citizen, if you even want to be a citizen,
right.
which a lot of people do, they want to serve. They want to serve their country and their
right.
people and their God,
right.
however they see fit. And I'm one of those people.
Right, me too.
And you are too, obviously. Yeah, thank you. And so you can make that choice. You have a choice of citizenship. You don't have to be a corporate citizenship, or a corporate employee or a dependent, a citizen of the king or the pope or of a foreign government. That is not mandatory, and that never was meant to be.
Well, I was reading earlier, it says that you help people fix their status.
What I just explained is correcting your status.
Okay.
When you go on to the American States Assembly and connect with your state recorder, provide all your credentials, and get an American state national status,
right.
that is correcting your status.
And that's so you can actually hold your trust that they took away from you from the very beginning. Is that correct?
Well, yeah.
Well, we can no longer trust our governmental service providers, meaning the British territorial U.S. government and the municipal governments. They can no longer be trusted. And you brought up the fact that you swore oath to defend, uphold the Constitution
right.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Right.
So let's just really quickly touch on that. A municipal government and a British territorial U.S. government are foreign governments
right.
with respect to your continental United States of America
right.
country. Article 10, basically, of all the constitutions, is the preservation of delegated powers. All undelegated powers are retained with the states and the people. That's the states of the union, not states of states, not corporate states, not corporations. Undelegated powers remain with the people, the states of the union and the people, not with the states of states and not with the citizens.
Again,
Okay?
servants.
So we need to get this one down right.
Right.
All undelegated powers have always remained with the states of the union, unincorporated sovereign states of the union,
Right.
and the unincorporated sovereign people,
Right.
who are the employers
Right.
of the federal employees.
Right.
Okay, so we are the employers, and that's why we retain undelegated powers, because we delegated those powers. Why would we give them away?
Well, the
We'd
creator,
be insane.
the creator of the world gave us his powers, but he didn't give them away to us. And that is what we are doing with our police and our government. We, the people of the United States, of America, created the government. We created the politicians. We gave the courts rights. We created all this because we wanted rule of the land. But what has been perpetrated upon us is plain and simple, is that England has never relinquished America from its grips. We're under maritime law. We're under the Queen and subsequently under the Crown and under the Pope.
Here's the thing: the
right? The Vatican.
corporations are under
Exactly.
under the thumb of those.
But
principalities.
because we were created as corporations 2 weeks after we were born, then we are under the Crown. We are under, because
that put us in a foreign jurisdiction. Yes.
there you go.
So now here's the thing: those corporations, the municipal corporation and the British territorial U.S. corporation, are both bankrupt and defunct.
Right.
Now, to be a municipal citizen or a British territorial U.S. citizen, what does it mean?
Right.
What is a municipal citizen? What is a U.S. citizen? People need to get this one down. First of all, like I said, if you want to be a citizen, you have to know what type of citizen. You have to choose it. And you have to know what it means and what it is and what it does.
Right.
Now, as far as municipal citizenship goes, when we all got registered, we got roped in. So we're all presumed upon as municipal citizens. When you join the military, then you're immediately a British territorial U.S. citizen.
Oh.
That's a different jurisdiction.
It is.
Okay. And so either one of those, both of those, British territorial U.S. citizen, municipal U.S. citizen, foreign. And
Are you listening, soldiers of the world, or soldiers of the United States? Are you listening to this?
Foreign citizens of a foreign government. Now, I just explained to you that Article 10 reserves all the undelegated powers to the American states and people from those entities. Okay, so what about the 11th Amendment? Now, what that basically says is that the American people are not subject to a foreign jurisdiction.
Right.
That's what it says.
Right.
Just read it. American people are not subject to foreign jurisdiction.
Then how does Washington, D.C. run the country?
They are out of bounds because they have no authority outside the 10-mile square of Washington, D.C.
So they are literally a foreign entity in the United States acting as the power over the United States.
They're the municipal government is a plenary oligarchy.
Okay.
Look it up.
Yeah, well, okay, there. It's perfect.
It's a creation of Washington, D.C.
Exactly.
Right. And Washington, D.C. has jurisdiction in the 10-mile square of Washington.
But not outside the 10-mile square.
No.
So I'm
no.
reading.
So why are they doing what they're doing?
Because they established their military tribunal district courts in every single county of every single one of our states in order to handle their business affairs. But then they drug us into their business affairs by registering us as one of them.
Well, we're corporations, so they can do that, right?
Well, we're not.
We're not. I mean,
well, you are when you're born.
let's
You
stop
are when you're
saying
born.
that.
Well, okay. Well, I'm trying to get the people. I understand what you're saying, and I agree. I don't want to be under this so-called contract that I don't consent to. I truly do not consent. And I think anybody listening to this needs to make a video and just say to the government of the United States, I do not consent. I have been informed now, and I do not consent to your tyranny over me. Right. But if the people don't keep hearing what is truly happening to them, a corporation was created in your name, the capital letters, the name that you have on your driver's license, the name on your birth certificate, watch this, the names on your marriage certificate and license. All of those are corporations. You and your wife melded together.
Baptismal certificate.
Baptismal. All of this is all corporate understanding, corporate law, corporate activity, correct?
What is a certificate? Define a certificate.
Well, it is certifying that you have accomplished something.
It's a legal instrument. It's an instrument that creates a legal person that can be publicly traded.
Oh. So
traded like a slave.
Certificate of value.
It can be sold.
In other words, like can
be sold.
Banknote.
Right.
There you go.
It can be bought and sold.
Well, yeah, okay, that would be a dollar bill because it is a certificate. It does say certificate on it.
Those are promissory notes.
Exactly.
That's actually those are valuable to us because that's a promise to pay. That signifies the debt.
Well, I'm reading this. I'm on this. I'm just flicking through web pages, and I'm reading this one screen. It says America was stolen a long time ago, and it's by Judge Anna von Reitz. Look her up. Look her up. Listen to what she has to say. She's going to throw you off because oh my gosh, she's totally into this.
She's on a whole nother level.
Yeah, she is. You listen to her and you go, okay, how can I go stand by this woman and just let her be there? Because she explains everything. Now, first off, she's a judge.
Justice of the peace.
Listen to the understanding this woman has reached. She's not just some normal sit-down American. She has literally sunk her teeth into this, and now she is pretty much the top of the line giving it out. There are people out there, and I guarantee you there are people listening to this video that are going to say, nah, they're just going to lead us all into trouble. And there's actually videos that say that this judge is going to lead people into a lot of trouble. Well, how much trouble have you been into? Because I know you listen to her.
My life has improved.
Improved.
My life has improved immensely. Ever since when I came across Anna von Reitz articles in 2014, she was on article number 400, I believe, at the time. Now she's at 4,000.
Yeah.
And I've read every single one of those articles. And like I said, before I met Anna von Reitz, I was already well studied. I was already I had already surrendered my driver's license and my business license, my big corporation, and a lot of other things that I did not want to surrender. But hey, part of the process. I won't go into that. But hey, I had already done all that. And when I came across her articles in 2014, she blew my mind. I mean, because I thought I knew stuff, right? And I did know stuff. And I was, I had been studying everything. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember John Darash with NLA, Heather Ann Tucci. Those people were pioneers in the common law movement too. They still are.
Look those people up.
Yeah, Heather's in jail. I think she's out. I don't know if she's out or not. But John Darash he heads up the National Liberty Alliance, and they do great work. Except that they're doing a different thing. When I met Anna, I was looking for paperwork that I could hold in my hand that would prove me to be an American national. I couldn't find it anywhere. Heather Ann Tucci didn't get it right. John Darash didn't get it right. And none of those guys got it right. It was very risky. But Anna was in the process of perfecting the paperwork at the time. And I was just reading, and by 2017, it appeared to me that she got that paperwork perfected pretty good. She got it down. It looked all good. And so I jumped in. By 2018, I read that paperwork probably 20 or 30 times before I actually did it. But I did it in 2018, and I'm telling you, it's nothing like being free.
Well, in your freedom, How much do you get messed with by the government?
A lot, but
lot.
you know, it doesn't matter because when you learn about who you are and what your true purpose is, and you learn how to present yourself in the proper status, standing, and jurisdiction,
Right.
then the truth will set you free. And the law is on your side, and you are protected, and God does have your back.
So can you repeat those three? Standing, status, and jurisdiction? Is that what you said?
When you have a proper understanding
Understand.
of status, standing, and jurisdiction,
Right.
and you learn how to present yourself,
There you go.
not ever allow yourself to be represented,
Right.
especially by a corporation. When you learn how to do these things, then you are free.
Well, this is quite interesting because last night we watched a video, and it's interesting because we're putting this information out, and I haven't yet to find anybody that's putting this out, and now all of a sudden we find this one last night. It's talking about no tag, no registration, no insurance. And he's standing before a cop, and the police officer literally says, if you can prove this, I'll quit paying for my registration on my cars. I'll quit doing this. I'll quit doing that. Which is interesting because at the end of the video, I actually proved it. He literally proved
Lo and behold,
He
this
proved
guy proved it and nailed him.
Except,
we'll show
now
that
the
video.
cop has a problem. He can't. He's not in the jurisdiction to be able to exercise his constitutional right.
Well, he pushed his jurisdiction as any cop's going to do. Well, not any cop, most cops. I really got to say to the good cops out there, we're not pointing fingers at you. If we are, we're talking good about you. Just stay in the fold of goodness and quit perpetrating against the people's rights. And people out there, please listen. The whole point of this video, the whole point of all of this information is that we want you to look at what's going on around you. Do you consent to what we've talked about? Now, by no means, again, take us as an authority of the truth. We're just bringing things that we have found that such as he brought to give him a better sense of freedom, because what we're looking for is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And when we can't see what's standing in our way, which is our own government, a foreign entity is running our country. Is that right? Do you agree to that? Do you consent to this? Because, see, the law can only be truth if you consent. That is the power of the people. You can stand up, go to your congressman and say, okay, make this information known to everyone, because we don't consent to what's going on now. Because the power is in the hands of we, the people. Okay? This aha moment that we're having right now is giving you information, just a little tidbit, because believe me, there's 200 videos just on this alone that we can continue making. But I say better yet, instead of getting it from us, secondhand information, go straight to the websites that I told you. Let me say it again. TheAmericanStatesAssembly.net, TheAmericanStatesAssembly.net. And then when you go there, you go to states.americanstatenationals.org. Go to that website and just look.
I'd like to add a website to that.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
AnnaVonRights.com.
That's another one. Yes, I was fixing to say her, Anna Von Rights.
4,000 articles.
Well, we have this pamphlet here that was given to us, and there's a bunch of American States Assemblies. There's all kinds. TASA, which is, can you explain TASA?
It is the American States Assemblies.
There you go. So go to TASA, AmericanStateNationals.org. Go to StatesAmericanStateNationals.org. Go to AmericanUnincorporated.org. Members.AmericanStateNationals.us / AnnaVonRights.com. There's so many to look for. Once you get on these, you'll start seeing that this information has been out there for quite a while, but it hasn't been given to us to purview, to understand, and to take away our consent from. There's a lot of pages that we're fixing to throw into this information, but what's happening is today is the day that you need to start looking for your freedom. How do you step out? Go teach yourself. Go learn your own way to become an American state national so that you can stand free of the so-called dictatorship or municipality or territorial oversight or override that we didn't agree to. We as Americans can fight this fight without ever picking up a weapon other than our knowledge. And our knowledge is the most important key.
Man, that was a big one. Knowledge, boy, it's right at your fingertips everywhere you walk. I know you got a phone.
The pen is mightier than the
The
sword.
pen is mightier than the sword. That's it. That's it.
Well, in all actuality, they used the pen against us. They use
Right.
words.
They use wordplay. Yeah.
Wordplay.
And
Word magic.
contracts, and
Yeah.
contracts.
If the
Contracts,
police,
yeah.
if the police officer asks you, well, I need your passenger's ID. Well, see, there is a key word. A passenger means you're hauling cargo. That person as a passenger is somebody who's paying you a fare. So that's how they trick you into that commercial understanding again.
There's a lot of them out there, relatives. Just pay attention to
Oh.
every single word. Don't answer any questions. Number one, lock your doors, roll up your windows, crack them a little bit. Don't answer any questions. Just say, hey, I want your supervisor, and I also want a lawyer right there. And don't answer any more of their questions. That's all I can say about that. And you didn't hear that from us. We're no lawyers. We're just here trying to speak our mind, our piece that would work for us. Every state is different. So please look at your state laws and the whole 9 yards about registering your vehicle, insurance in your vehicle, the whole 9 yards.
Look it up for yourself. How do you know the truth if you don't go find it for yourself? You can take somebody else's word for it. I can tell you all day long, you don't need to register your car.
Well, let's just put it this way. We're not going to say that you don't need to register your car or have insurance, because some people do have to do it.
Right.
And it depends on what jurisdiction you're in.
Right.
Depends on what you're doing or not doing. If you are a transactor in commerce, then yes, you are required to be licensed
Required.
and insured.
Right.
Yes. If you are
those type
that's-
of people do.
federal,
yes.
federal
That's just-
employee or federal dependent,
Right.
then yes, I'm sorry, but you got to have all
Got to
that
have a driver's
stuff.
license.
There's a clarification for you.
Right.
There you go.
But here's the thing. What if you're none of those things? And what if you're independent and self-motivated and you can take care of yourself and you don't need a government welfare, or you don't need to have a government job, or you don't need the government at all? What if you can take care of yourself? What if you have prayed and God gave you the gift of taking care of yourself, being independent, being sovereign? And what if you receive that gift? Then you're entitled to that gift, and you can say, no, thank you. I do not consent to being subject matter jurisdiction to a foreign government as a foreign entity.
Right. And
Yeah.
this is the
You can say no.
That's a good one.
well, the consent. There's several words. Confirmation. They want you to conform. They want you to be considerate. You have to consider this or understand this. Now, I heard this the other day, and this is how they get you again. They read you your rights, and the last thing they read you under the rights is you giving consent without them telling you you're giving consent. Do you understand these rights as I have read them?
No.
Is the last question. And if you say yes, you've just given them consent. This is how they trap you. It's just this quick and simple.
You stand under them now.
Right. So you are standing under their authority. If they tell you, go stand over there, and you move, you've now consented to give them authority. This is how brainwashed, how mind-controlled we are by government. Go figure. But all of this is used against us. Cops says he's going to take the things we say and use them against us. The government. I just asked AHA, what has the government come against you? Yes. Why? Well, see, they don't want to lose the power they have over us. Am I trying to be anti-government here? No, we need government. We need to have a governing body over the mass. But we also ourselves, just as you said, wherein lies my sovereignty if I'm not governing what I do and say so that it doesn't get held against somebody else, or so that I don't hold somebody else accountable? This all comes down to who are you and can you be a sovereign individual on this planet in the United States of America? Or are you American? See, again, use of words. United States of America, corporation. United States, corporation. America, is that a corporate?
Well, here we go. The, with a capital T,
Mm-hmm.
United States of America, unincorporated, is your country.
There you go.
It is a representation of your country. That is your federation of states,
Okay.
your American Federation. Okay, so the, capital T,
Mm-hmm.
United States is an American portion of your American government. Unincorporated. Okay, so we have the United States of America and the United States. The states of the Union are the United States, capital T. They're unincorporated, they're sovereign, and they consist of living American men and women.
Keyword unincorporated.
Unincorporated. Now you have the Federation, which is the United States of America, unincorporated. Federation of states. That, the Federation serves the states and the people.
Right.
This Federation protects the rights and prerogatives of the American states and people.
There you go.
Okay, and the Federation is the summoning authority
Right.
to the American states assemblies, and they have been summoned, and they are all 50 states in session, up and running and operating. And in Saguache County, right here, I believe we have 11 American state nationals recorded on the record.
Right.
And in Colorado, I believe we're up over 200, close to 300.
Wow.
Yeah, and yep.
Hell yeah.
So we've got and we've got people filling seats of the American government right now that have been vacant for 160 years. We've got seats vacant that need to be filled. So come on, family, go to American States Assembly.net, get recorded as an American State National, become an American State National. And then if you want to be in service to your actual country and to your people, become an American state citizen. Join your state assembly. Fill one of the vacant seats. Help us to stand up the common law courts in all 50 states and in all 3,142 counties. And help us to protect our rights and prerogatives as Americans, not foreign subject matter jurisdiction to a foreign government. Forget that stuff. That stuff is over. It's gone.
Now, what he's talking about when he's talking about these seats in the government, I believe there's 14, right? 11 seats, I believe there are, or 14.
Well, there's the county level government, and there's a state level.
Well, I'm talking about for the government of the United States. Basically, what he's talking about is in 1860, 11 delegates, 11 congressmen walked out of session, and they shut Congress down. They completely walked out. This is where Abraham Lincoln came in. You look at this story. When you look at this story and you put it to what's going on today, and just let me give a quick understanding of what I've got. These people apparently walked out because they did not want to consent to the vote that Abraham Lincoln won the election. Sound familiar? But also, these 11 people, that actually wound up being 14 at the end, walked out. They were all Southern Confederate states. They walked out of the so-called union government, the so-called the whole total government. Since then, we have not had a government run by this so-called union, the republic of people. Now, read this for yourself, get an understanding of what happened at the time, and recognize that that particular moment in time is when every one of us come under the jurisdiction through the 14th Amendment that was forced. It was coerced. The 14th Amendment was coerced by the winners of the Revolutionary or the Civil War, because the winners told the losers, you have to vote. This is the way you got to vote. And now we don't give you, look at the 14th Amendment. It says Congress is the only one by 2/3 vote that can give somebody who's been a part of the Confederation the separateness from this so-called United States government that we have, that they have to have a 2/3 vote to allow that person to even run for Congress. This is too much power given to the government.
So that Constitution is for federal employees' independence.
There you go.
It's not for American people. Are not a party to that Constitution.
See?
American people are the employers.
There.
The Constitution is a contract that allows them, under oath, to provide governmental services and protection. And when they breach that contract,
Right.
well, guess what? Those delegated powers come back home, and they have.
Well, see, that's
right now that they've come home, we have summoned all 50 states to come into session and fire up our American states assemblies so that we can return all those delegating powers back to our American
back to
government.
the people. Right.
So your American government is in session now after 160 years of being dormant. And yes, thanks to Lincoln for not disclosing to us that he was a bar agent.
Right.
No, Lincoln did not disclose that he was a bar agent. He was not eligible to hold the seat of the President of the United States of America, unincorporated. Never
Right.
was.
Right.
Never was disclosed. And yes, there was a whole big. And that, I don't want to go into the details.
It's a long story.
He lost his life over it.
Right.
The whole 9 yards. People were confused. But the fact remains is that the American government, the land and soil jurisdiction, United States of America, unincorporated, major, is now in session, and these seats are being filled, and we have already begun roll call votes. And so when you go onto the website, you'll see that we're doing the work, and we're working hard. We've got men and women that are stepping up, putting their heart and soul into this. Brave.
Well, this is the time.
Brave men and women.
Now, I want to ask you, change the direction, slide it a little bit. What's up with the flag that's behind you?
That's the American Civil Peacetime flag. This is our flag.
Mm-hmm.
Old Glory, that's our flag too.
Right.
That flag we fly, Old Glory, that's our wartime flag.
Right.
But we're not at war. We're at peace.
We're at peace.
So we're going to go ahead and fly this peace flag. We've declared peace on the land.
See? Now, who did this? Who's the we?
We, the people.
We, the people, have declared peace on the land.
Not we, the U.S. citizens. We, the American people.
Right. It's very important that we understand our status, our standing, and the jurisdiction part is the interesting part. Is you asked, are you willing to be completely governed by yourself?
No. Self-governance is the responsibility of an American self-governance.
Right.
Is the responsibility of the American body politic.
Right.
We owe our responsibilities to each other. We need to take care of each other. We are united. We are one body of people.
Right.
We are not alone.
No.
We're united.
We are united.
We're at peace, and we are on the land and soil jurisdiction. So we are the living men and women on the land and soil jurisdiction of the continental United States of America, unincorporated,
Right.
exercising our constitutional rights and guarantees, fully protected.
Fully protected in the continent, in the understanding of continental. Right.
Continental meaning continent, meaning land.
Right. Land.
Right.
See, we were reading earlier, and I looked at Jeff and I said, damn, it's everywhere. The word officer is off ice, which is a whole bunch of liquid water, sounds like, which again leads to an understanding of maritime law. This so-called jurisdiction that they have over us is because of maritime law. Maritime law is over corporation, correct? Because the law of the land is over
Special Admiralty maritime law jurisdiction is contract law.
Right.
For corporations.
Right. And it is the person, not the man.
Legal persons.
Right.
Legal persons are dead. Don't forget.
Legal persons. Right.
Dead entities.
All right, relatives. I want you to pay attention out there in your world today. And and every day. Do your study, do your homework, look up everything here. We'll leave everything down below for you to be able to look up with On Divine Rights and everything. But I also wanted to say thank you, AHA, for coming over and enjoying, some radio time with us. And, we enjoy you and that beautiful peace flag back there behind you. And thank you for sharing your life and your experience, man. I've known you for quite some time. And
10 years.
Yeah, 10 years, man. And every time I work with you, we always talk about it, man. And it really warms my heart. And actually to be able to tell my brother here, JR, about this, and it inspire somebody else to do more research and more knowledge. And I'm hoping that's what we're going to do here with the people out there in this world, within this video and stuff like that. But I just want to say thank you, and you're always welcome at the home and stuff like that, man. And tell your wife I said hi, and don't forget to pet the puppy for me.
Apache.
Yeah, Apache, yeah. We can say his name. I don't want to say your missus' name. But anyways, I just want to say there's your aha moment right there. And stay tuned. We're going to have it back on for another aha moment. Leave your comments below.
Please.
And let us know your words, because we can ask questions back to AHA that can answer your questions in the proper way and proper manner. But don't forget to do your own research. It's not a lot of work to get there. Just look out for one another. Stand solid. Stay solid. Stay grounded. That's all I can say from the ground, not maritime law. We love you. Until next time. Peace out. I'm Jeff Winsett with JR on Seeing is Believing, and knowing is half the battle.